Quiet.
Yo, welcome, boys and girls of all ages, to another hard-hitting edition of Eat Sleep Sixers podcast. You got the one that they call me, myself, Sabrina Tanya, and you got the one, the only Dr. Simpson, and we have a special guest, a loyal. When I say loyal, loyal member and fan of the podcast, and we got him in for the first time ever. Man, we know y'all call him Brian Green, but we gave him the nickname BG. His nickname is BG, and for the duration of this interview, we call him BG because the way Danny Green played, I don't want nobody that close to him to be associated with that last name Green. So call my man BG for this whole duration of this interview. So
please.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. BG, thanks for coming on, rocking out with us, brother.
My pleasure.
You're a guest on this show, so we're going to let you spill out your heart, spill out your thoughts. How do you feel about the game today? What's your feeling right now? What are you feeling?
So I hate to lead with the negative, but I'm gonna lead with the negative because at the end of the day we lost. At the end of the day we lost. So I'm not going to sugarcoat things and make it seem like, oh, everything's good. I'm not going to hit you with that. We looked bad in that first quarter. I'm gonna throw out two numbers to y'all right now: 42 and 9. We gave up 42 points in a quarter, and we turned the ball over nine times.
Yeah.
You can't start the game. You can't start a game off like that. You just can't start a game off like that.
It's almost a miracle that we came back and made it somewhat of a game, because I was looking at one point, 16 for 31, 3-ball from them. Some things was us not playing our part, and some things was these guys was hot as fish grease today.
And that's the thing.
Fish grease.
We all know. We watch basketball. We know they're not going to hit like that every game. They're not going to hit like that every game. But the fact is the fact. That's what happened today. That's plain and simple what happened today. We ran into a team that was hot. We ran into a team that was ultra hot. And I think they only made 23s overall. They had 16 through like 2 quarters damn near. But they wound up with 20, and we was able to cut the lead. Danny Green, man. I'm not so like I posted in the middle of the game. Take Danny Green off Trae Young.
Yeah.
The way I was upset with Danny Green, I said that in the post, but I'm more upset with the fact that we can't have a starter with 4 points, man.
Nah.
Missing wide open threes.
It was a stretch. I didn't mean to cut you off, BG, but that just got me heated. That just got me heated, BG. It was a stretch when we was down 15. We was down 15 and stuff like that, and we had a chance to cut it to like 12 or maybe even single digits. This dude, Mr. Clear is open, wide open 3. Like, and it's a stretch. And it's a stretch when we made in grounds, and he missed a open 3 on the fast break. Like, he is like
that fast break was just a bad shot. Like,
it's just a bad.
What made you think he was gonna make that?
And we had time. We had a single digit deficit. We had time to get the best available shot possible. And you put up that 3 on the fast break. My thing is and we're gonna touch on that too, host. We're gonna touch on that. And my thing is too, if he's gonna give you that, playoff time, he needs to sit He needs to sit, and we need to rope, and we need to keep doing what we're doing to Trae Young. Last part of the game is trapping him and making them other guys. And another thing we got to do. There's a lot I could point out wrong with that game. We can't revert back to the old form of things where we don't rotate on defense, where we can't revert to that old. Excuse my language. We can't revert back to that old shit. We
talk that talk, Sabri. We pissed off.
Not rotating on defense. Not everybody. And once again, another thing I got to point out. I like what Embiid did offensively. So it's no excuse on the defensive end where that guy comes in and attack that damn lane, and you don't sit and send his shot to the second row and attack that damn row. You looked at lazy out there, and you had 30-something points. So I don't want to hear about the knee, because if the knee was banged up, the knee was banged up so bad, you wouldn't have been able to contribute. I
would like to bring up a point and big up MJ who said it a few shows ago. MB has a habit of being lackadaisical on defense, man. And for him to have great feet and mobility that he has, and I understand he puts a lot of the offensive load on himself, and Doc does. But when little guys are coming to that lane, punch it or attempt to punch it or hard foul, something.
The only problem with him stepping up though against this team, not saying period, against this team and that high pick and roll, if they run that high pick and roll with the power forward, say Collins set the pick, and B's probably going to be the help guy. But the only thing that Capella is good at is catching lobs. And because Trae Young is so good at throwing them, it's like he got to pick his poison. Either I'm going to let Trae get the floater, or
either or. It's that floater.
But BJ,
that's all Capella does. That's all
I agree, BJ.
Sure. Good point, BJ.
But BJ, as when you supposedly have a high defensive IQ, BJ, when you running when that high pick and roll is ran, you could do one or two things to stop the high and pick and roll. You can either switch or hedge the high pick and roll.
They definitely should have been. I think they should have been hedging it, to be honest.
And B has to rotate to the back. When Embiid hedges that screen, like defensive IQ tells you, all right, I got to move my feet, go back to the basket. Because if I was hedging the screen, if I was Embiid and I'm hedging the screen, once I hedge it, my mind got to be on Trae Young's going to go and throw that lob right to Capella. I'm moving back to the basket immediately. I'm rotating. I'd rather sit up there and send Capella to the line 10 to 20 times, 10 to 20 times than to sit up here and not do nothing at all. And another thing too, we all
Sabri spazzing.
He going in.
Yeah, another thing.
I'm letting him have his moment. Go ahead, Sabri.
Another thing too. Jose brought up another point, man. And I promise you I'm done. And the free throws late in the clutch. This is if he gonna be so hot and cold late in the clutch, then I want you in the gym right now. Game 2 is Tuesday. I want you shooting those free throws, man. Shoot those damn free throws. You can't go hot and cold in the playoffs. You can't go hot and cold and stuff like that. Shoot them free throws. Because in the clutch, if the bench would have played better, he makes some free throws. He makes some free throws. We could possibly steal that game away from them. Atlanta, and let me say this last thing. And y'all fans that's sitting up there scared of Atlanta, and we took Atlanta best shot and lost by 4. Go ahead. Go ahead with that scary stuff, dog.
And this is the worst. This is the worst we've probably played in the playoffs today. As far as turnovers, as far as not getting in the offensive flow of things, I think it's due to Embiid just coming back. And it's also due to the role players that we were used to them stepping up in certain roles. Tobias Harris, Seth Curry. I'm not going to get on Seth too much because he hit a few shots. But when you don't have our outside shooting, Danny Green 0 for 4. When you don't have that happening, it turns us into a one-dimensional team. Sorry to say, and that's an easy team to defend. That's the way this team is built. We go inside to outside. And if the outside isn't hitting like that, and that first quarter, second quarter, I'm speaking of specifically, and their team was hitting the shots, they were hitting the 3-point shots, then, we kind of lost the game in that first half. As soon as we Yeah, we lost the game.
That's why I threw those two numbers at you. That 42-9 is what stood out to me. We're supposed to be one of the best defensive teams in the league. We cannot give up 42 points in the first quarter and turn the ball over 9 times. I can live with them making shots. If they making shots, they making shots. We cannot turn the ball over 9 times in a quarter and expect to win a basketball game.
Hey, Carl. Carl, and I want you to hear. I want you to say it in front of BG that your man got outcoached. I've been giving them praise the last year.
You didn't have your players properly. Sorry, BG, properly prepared tonight. Go ahead, BG. What were you saying?
But in his, I hate to defend it because we lost. In his defense,
come on.
In his defense, this is what we bought Doc Rivers in for. Our main complaint over the years was Brett Brown don't make adjustments. Playoff series is about adjustment. If we come back and do the same thing next game,
then you can blame him. Then you can blame him.
We on Doc neck.
BG, I disagree, BG, because BG Doc was stubborn.
He hates BG. Disclaimer. I mean, he hates Doc Rivers. Disclaimer, brother.
And BG, and let's clear something up real fast. I don't hate Doc. I think he just gets a little more praise than when he lets on. I don't hate Doc. I don't hate Doc. And that's a misconception. He's definitely. You can at least admit he's an improvement over Brett Brown. He's an improvement over Brett Brown. I could definitely admit. I could definitely admit it. I could admit
you compared them early in the season, so I'm growth, my brother.
He's an improvement over Brett, but he's an improvement over Brett Brown. But a lot of times where you said that we brought him in to make adjustments. A lot of time he puts on his Brett Brown face mask, and you like, damn. Is we seeing Brett coaching right now, or is we seeing Doc coaching right now? Prime example. For 3/4 of the game, you have Danny Green on him. You have Danny Green single coverage. You had single coverage. No trap at half court. No none of that. But fourth quarter, where the game they already smacking the game wide open.
He waited too long to make the adjustment.
He waited too long.
And a guy like Trae Young, he's doing one or two things to you. He's either shooting that, in fact, 3 things to you. He's either shooting that 3-pointer, that long 3-pointer. He's either hitting that little stupid floater. I was about to curse that little stupid floater, or he's throwing that lob to Capella. And this is when the rotational defense got to get a lot better. Because once you trap Trae Young, and the other shooters are on the floor, because after Trae Young, Bogdanovich was the high man with 19. So imagine if you limit Trae Young's ability to get them shots off, and their next high man is 19.
I'm going to win
the game. Go ahead.
I'm going to play devil's advocate on that, Sabri, because in the first half, and it's not praising Doc. No, Doc had a bad game. You heard me say that here. You know what I mean? But in the first quarter, when he started doing the thing to us, Trae started getting his thing on, we started to collapse a little bit in the inside, to give some help to Danny Green. And credit to Atlanta, their shooters was shooting. They was knocking down shots, man.
Exactly.
So you got to tip your cap off to a team who played better. We didn't wake up to the second half. Period. We wasn't playing Sixer basketball to the second half.
And I agree to a certain degree, but I like to the point. Trae Young is Steph Curry light. So once a guy get in a rhythm like Trae Young, all right, the first 2 threes fall in. That's a light switch. That's a light switch for Trae Young. Once a guy get in a rhythm like that, he's going to feel himself. He's going to feel himself and think he could take over the entire game. When you notice something like that in your mind from the first quarter, it has to be let Kevin Horter and let me mention something about Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich, you need to pump your brakes and be a little more humble, my guy. You got to be a little humble, my guy. You over there shushing the crowd. You over there doing all that extra stuff and shushing the crowd. Bogdanovich, you are not built like that, my dude. You're not even built. You're not built like that. You're not built like that. Trae Young wasn't even flexing and all that. But you got to make Bogdanovich. You got to make John Collins. You got to make Horter. You got to make them dudes are oppressive. They shoot their behind off. I give them that. But you got to make those guys beat us.
I mean, we did what we were supposed to do as far as stars on the team. Ben and B, they did their usual. You know what I mean? I think Ben could have been way more careful with the basketball in the first quarter. Them turnovers did us in. They did us in.
Yeah, overall, I like what Ben gave us. Besides the turnovers,
The aggression, the drives to the rack, the plan when he goes in the air to score. You know what I mean? I like those things from him. But we need more from our supporting cast. We need a little bit more from our supporting cast.
So I don't know if y'all remember. I've asked y'all this question maybe 3 straight pods, and everybody didn't agree so far. Everybody said maybe in the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe in the finals. At what point does Doc shrink this bench, man? We can't have 4 or 5 starters out the game at any point. At no point.
Yeah.
We have to shrink the bench. It's the playoffs. We need to be playing 8 to 9 players. There's no way I should be looking at our second unit on the floor when we down 30. We down 26 points. Why is our second unit in the game so much?
What I'm hoping, BG, what I'm hoping is that was Doc's way of saying, y'all playing like shit today. Y'all gonna sit here and watch for a minute. I'm hoping. You know what I mean? I'm hoping. And I'm hoping he does strengthen the lineup as well. You know what I mean? I hope we could see a little bit more of Ben, a little bit more of Tobias, a little bit more of Embiid. It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs.
And it didn't seem like Embiid was on any type of pitch count today.
No.
It didn't seem, he played minutes. He played. Matter of fact, how many minutes he played? He played about 38, didn't he?
He played about 38, but I saw him tweak his knee a little bit too.
No, he tweaked his knee. It wasn't nothing major. He tweaked his knee when he snapped. When he snapped. Yeah. Remember the play?
That wasn't a foul either. That wasn't a foul.
They caught that when he drove his arm. I think not the drove. I think it was the drove of the arm where he stepped out.
It was off a rebound. Capella went for the rebound, and B grabbed the ball, but it looked like he grabbed his hand and called foul. When he overreacted to that, that's when
B was like. B was like when B jumped up a little bit and came down on his knee, but so when he fell towards the end of the game, that was a good test right there. I didn't see no pain. I didn't see him hop up, and I didn't see it's a couple of times he took a tumble, but I like what he did. It wasn't the intentional tumbles. It wasn't that stuff he normally do when he glide into the basket and falling all big and all that. It wasn't.
He was a little careful. He was careful today.
He was a little careful. He was working the post, and he did exactly what I told him to do. And I said, we need you to control your landing. We need you to control it. And I want to highlight this comment. This is a YouTuber. I want to say shout out. Now I want to shout out
Zelly
on our YouTube platform. I like Zelly. I'm gonna bring up a sequence where him and Trae Young was dancing, and y'all can attest to this too, BG and Carl. Him and Trae Young was dancing. He said they was doing the 1-2, and Trae Young forced the shot up.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And that was the only time I seen Trae Young look uncomfortable. So Zelly, I 100% agree. I need Thibault. I need Ben to. If we're gonna do that, Ben has to be the slashing facilitator and let Thibault be the slashing defender. So what y'all think about what Zelly said? We gotta highlight.
It's crazy. It's crazy that Zelly just posted that because that was gonna be my next thing I brought up. I know we believe that when Danny hitting. He's big for us. But if Danny's going to give us, if he's going to be a starter, and he's going to give us 4 points, if you're not giving us nothing offensively, I'd rather have Thibault have those minutes where I know I'm getting something at least defensively for the things that he lacks on offense. And guess what? Thibault was actually hitting today. He hit 2 big threes.
Yeah.
So when I look at the compare and contrast with those two, I'd rather have Thibault on the floor right now against this team. I just don't. If Danny can't give us nothing offensively and get cooked on defense, what good is he to us? Honestly, what good is he to us in this series?
BG, I've been saying the same thing all year. I just don't think, we're too late in the game now. Our offense is built around certain players, but I just don't think Danny Green is a starting player anymore. 7th man, 6th man, defensive specialist.
He came off our bench, I'll be cool.
3-and-D type of guy, but he's put in positions like this too many times where he gotta get in the time machine and go back to when he was 20 years old.
This is not the Spurs Danny Green.
It's not it no more. It's not it no more.
I'm about to touch something your man posted on your man and our man our homie. He's not our brother, he my homie too. I mean, I said that Greg, I disagree with you, and I'm gonna let the fellas take this because you seen Ben
and Thibault just showed they could play together last game.
Yeah. They showed that if Ben is attacking, and Embiid's down in that, because Embiid has a deadly mid-range shot. And Embiid is one of the best mid-range shooters, big man mid-range shooters. So if Embiid operates in that mid-range, the post area, and Ben's attacking the basket, I disagree with you. They played well together.
Yeah,
Ben and Embiid played well together, and Thibault. And you don't need Thibault to be a 40% 3-point shooter. You need Thibault. You need Thibault to be a 33 to 34%.
Just hit it when you're wide open. Hit it when you're wide open.
Hit it when you're wide open and stuff like that. That's what you need.
Yeah.
What y'all think about that, fellas? What our brother GB said.
BG, you are a guest. Go ahead, brother.
So I get what he's saying. Sabri, what you countered with actually can't work though, because we say Joel Embiid is a great mid-range shooter, but the difference is he's a great mid-range ISO shooter. He's not catching the ball and then having a quick mid-range shot. He's getting it. He's sizing up guys, and that's when he's good at the mid-range. You're not passing it to Embiid as soon as he catches it, he's shooting it. That's just not what he does. His mid-range is all ISO mid-range. Like, I'm going to face this big dude up, one hard jab, and then I'm going to make it probably 90% of the time. So Ben and Thibault, when you say with Ben dishing it, it's not like when Ben drive and then he dishes it and Embiid just gonna pull straight up for the mid range. Most of his mid range come from ISO ball.
I hear you.
Before Carl, I kind of disagree, BG, because you seen instances where he caught the ball. Most of his, I agree with what you said. Most of his shots is so I agree with part of what you said, but sometimes when he catches the ball, when he catches the ball, Ben he takes that one little, and then he lets it go. And B can score off the ISO and just taking one dribble without even sizing nobody up. He can hit the
I don't want to downsize our star. He can do anything. I'm just hearing where Greg coming from. All three of them on the floor is just hard.
Yeah. Go ahead, Carl.
I wouldn't will that starting lineup out. No, for many different reasons. But can they both exist on the same court? Hell yeah. And I feel like defense, great defense, like these guys play, elite defense. They create turnovers. They create fast breaks. They create easy baskets. So it's not really going to highlight them on half court sets a lot if we're on the break a lot with these guys. They run like deers too. Both of them. Yeah. They're both equally athletic. So I feel like what we lose in a half court game offensively, we'll gain in defense. So I do feel like Thibault needs more minutes. He needs more minutes because we need better defensive output. I love Seth Curry to death. I love Danny Green to death. But, Danny has his certain games where he's, oh, wow. And then he's like this today where he didn't defend or shoot the ball well. So we do got to have a quick hook for certain guys, Doc. I feel like he rides certain guys a little too long, and like today, that costs us the game.
Seth, didn't mean to cut you off. Real quick thought. Seth stays in that starting lineup.
Oh yeah.
No doubt.
I know you are a distant brother of the Currys, but I agree with you. Curry got
Sabri Curry.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I
like that. So BG, like that too, BG. I'm gonna ask you a question that we asked all our brothers, all our vets in this group. How did you come about getting to know Sixers 24/7? Who put you on, and what was your first experiences upon getting in the group?
So first and foremost, before I even get into that, always RIP Joey, always. But I'm in the military, so once I left the city, I'm from North Philly. I grew up, born and raised. Me and Greg right down the
Same
street.
here.
We grew up together.
Same here.
So So after I left the city and I'm traveling everywhere, I don't get to keep up with the stuff that we like to hear, our broadcast and our people. So instantly, I got to search every Facebook group. I got to go on my people's pages and see who got what groups on their page. Oh, I got to follow that. Oh, I got to follow that. And to me, 24/7 was the one that was like, yo, this feel like a family. You know what I mean?
That's love, man.
Yeah, that is love, man. And being said, you've been in 24/7 for like 4 years, and like you been going back, and you was you was in here when the process was like starting to mature and grow into fruition. So that's pretty dope, BG. I got another question for you. Did you have like any interactions with Joey?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Did you have any interactions with Joey?
In comments from time to time. I was not blessed to have met him personally, but every video I've ever seen him post that he ever posted, I sit there and listen to it. Like, this dude is so Philly, dog.
Yeah,
like
he Philly.
He bleeds this red, white, and blue, dog.
Most definitely.
He bleeds this red, white. So anytime he posted, I was always locked in on him.
So I'm going to post this question to both of you fellas.
Go ahead,
Given that we saw what we saw today, and we saw what we saw the second half of the ball game, what do you guys think that the changes we should be making to come out on the other side, game 2?
Go ahead. I'll let you start off, BG.
I got you.
I'm still hyped.
my personal is I really think we need to try Matisse in the starting lineup. I say try. I'm not saying, all right, Danny, you lost all your minutes. By no means. We need your veteran leadership. But I'm thinking to try Matisse in the starting lineup to make it a little bit harder on Trae Young. Like I said, yes, we might lose we lose a little bit of outside shooting, but on days like this, we didn't even have that from Danny Green.
Yeah.
So if he's not giving us nothing on offense and getting cooked on defense, what is he really out there doing?
You're a big negative.
That's what I'm saying. And obviously, this tomorrow, they have to work on our high pick and roll defense, rotating behind the high pick and roll defense. That might have been the worst display of pick and roll defense I've seen in a while. Either we was giving up a floater to Trae, we was leaving the roll man, or we was doing the right thing and helping, but then we left wide open shooters. We gotta have that constant rotation on defense. So as long as they work on them things, like we talked about right before we went live, we just took their best punch. They not gonna play like that for no whole series, dog. And we not gonna play like this the whole series. We not gonna play like this.
I'm breaking up Danny Green's plus minus. Go ahead, BG.
If we bring the intensity we brought in the fourth quarter for 4 quarters, man, we fine. I don't want the one thing about being any type of Philly fan, whether it be the Sixers, the Eagles, we get down on our guys a lot. We want perfection, and ain't nobody perfect. I hope that everybody not taking this loss and thinking, oh man, we in trouble. I'm honestly don't think we're in trouble. If I look at Joel Embiid can give me 30 at 80%,
we're good.
Why would I be worried?
We're good.
Why would I be worried? You know what I mean?
We're good.
We fine. We are fine, man. I don't want to see no posts. I mean, you're gonna have your negative Nancy's that's gonna be on the page saying all this negative, and even me talking about Danny Green earlier. But guess what? That's one game.
It's real.
They got to beat us 4 times, and I can't see them beating us 4 times.
Breaking news! For as bad as Danny Green played, he had a +5. Plus minus was a +5. Like,
I mean, I throw that whole stat out the window. You know, nothing.
4-2-4. Go ahead,
nothing could beat the eye test, and you know he just wasn't there as far as a starting player tonight. So with that being said, I'm going to give my few keys to Game 2's win. Number 1, you can't come out in a playoff match expecting to get hit like on a defense. You know, you have to be on the attack from tip. You have to be an aggressor. You got to play fast. You got to play aggressive, you know, on defense and in offense. That's been our calling card all year, defense. You know, 40-something points in the first quarter? Nah, that's not us. Not even a little bit. So I have faith in this team and its coach to sit down look at this tape, see where they went wrong and see where they went right in the second half, and put that in the first quarter so we wouldn't dig ourselves in a hole like this. I guarantee you one thing, we're not going to turn the ball over like this the rest of this series. It's just uncharacteristic of us. So
and the crazy part is at the end of the game, the turnover was almost even because how we was doing them up in the fourth quarter.
True indeed. Yeah. But the points off of turnovers in that first quarter, that killed us. Yeah. That murder scene us. But go ahead, Sabri. I'm sorry.
No, you cool. No, go ahead. I've been talking heavy today. Go ahead.
I'm letting everybody get their emotions
You just got
to
think about it, man. 18 points. 9 turnovers is a possible 18 points left on the board.
Yep.
Just in the first quarter, we had 9. Yep. That is that's at the lowest 18 points.
At the lowest.
Imagine if a couple of them was threes.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. And with that being, and I agree. And if Danny Green, he went 0 for 4 from the 3. If Danny Green hits 2 of those threes, and we lost by 4. So we lost by 4. So that's a 2-point win we take. If he hits at least 2 of those threes, that's a 2-point win we take. And not to keep harping on Danny Green and stuff like that. But next lineup, I want to see moving forward. I want to see Bennett at 1. Bennett the 1. I want to see. Now I want to see Seth at the 2. I want to see Thibault at the 3. I want to see Tobias at the 4. And I want to see Embiid at the 5. I want to see. That's the lineup I want to see moving forward.
Sound like a defensive lineup right there, brother.
I want to see. I want to see that lineup right there. Which you still got your shooters with. Seth. Seth including going back to the last closeout game against the Wizards. Seth has been consistently hitting his shots for the last 3 to 4 games, and you add Tobias into that lineup that can give you the occasional 3. We don't need Tobias to do that much. That give you the occasional 3, and you got Tobias back to the basket. Tobias that can give you everything. And
that's
more,
what we missed tonight too. We missed that back to the basket game from Tobias tonight.
Tobias didn't have a bad game. They didn't give him the ball enough.
No, he didn't have a bad game. I feel like
he's disappeared. Yeah, he didn't have a bad game. It seemed like he wasn't touching the ball as much as he was the rest of the last series.
But when you try to play catch up, and when you got this the problem with the top heavy teams like ourselves. When we play catch up, when we try to play catch up, we deviate from what we known to do.
Yeah,
we deviate from what we known to do. Like when that whole Wizard series, when we felt like when we had the swagger, like we were in control, we was going straight down.
Confidence.
Tobias in the basket, but you didn't have the swag. Like I seen a stretch where Tobias hit a 3, they got the steal. Tobias went up the court and dunked. That's the swag we play with. Yeah. That's the swag we play with. But when we start playing catch up, that's when we start deviating from what we're doing, and we got to lock in from the first when that ball go in the air. I want to see people trapping Trae Young. I want to see people trapping. Trae Young had 29 points last series against the New York Knicks, a physical defensive team like us. From the jump, trap Trae Young. No excuses. Trap Trae Young. You seen Trae Young come out firing. Trap him, make the others beat us, rotate on defense, and we be good. And we be good. All the fans that's jumping off the bridge at the one game. I told you the Hawks should do this. I told you.
We'll be fine.
I told you the Hawks should do this. I told you the Hawks. I told you the Hawks. Y'all cool. Y'all can keep the Hawks. Y'all can keep panicking and camping for the Hawks. But our Sixers are going to be fine. We adjust those things we need to adjust. We winning, man. We winning this series in 5.
So we talked about Danny Green, right?
Yeah.
And it stands out more because he had more minutes.
Yeah.
Well, what did Dwight Howard do today?
Nothing. Like nothing at all. Nothing. Missed wide open lay-ins. It
don't stand out as much because, like I said, Danny Green played more minutes, so it's noticeable that he didn't give us nothing. But Dwight Howard gave us nothing,
and that was horrible because we rely on him on that bench unit for shot blocking and rebounding, and 8 points or so. He just was a third string big man today.
I would have even dealt with one of his stupid fouls, just something hard, hit somebody.
Show me you care, brother.
Anything. He didn't give us nothing today, man.
Nah.
Hey, fellas, this 37 minutes went by, so we reaching a 37-minute thought. Let's bring it on home. Brett, we basically talked about the keys to the next video, but one thing that we need to fix before we get out of here. BG, you can go first. I'm sorry, I meant to delegate that to somebody.
All right, yeah. If I'm changing one thing, I'm just changing our intensity, man. If we play like we played in the fourth quarter, I know what Philly made of. I know what we made of. This team shit, they not in our class, dog. They not in our class.
No, they not.
They were the fifth seed. Were they the fourth seed or fifth seed?
Fifth seed.
They the fifth seed for a reason. We're the one seed for a reason. Cool. They punched us in the mouth. We took that punch. Now it's time to grind this series out. Get these dudes out of here. 6-6. Y'all know my saying. Trae Young, Young Jeezy, the Young and the Restless, Vince Young. It don't matter.
It don't matter.
6-6.
Hey, Carl, one thing.
One thing I would change is we spoke on it already. I am sitting Danny Green off of Trae Young. It's just not a good matchup for you. Every matchup is different. Every team we play is going to be different. The Nets, he might thrive in that starting lineup, matching up versus somebody. You know, it's not a good matchup for him. So I would like to swap him out, put in either Thibault, or we could go Maxey. I'm not mad at putting Maxey in.
I don't think Maxey guarded Trae Young at all when he was in the game either. I was thinking that while I was watching the game, like put that young energetic
just to see. Just to see.
I don't think he guarded him one time.
Somebody quick to keep up with him, you know, it's not working with these bigger 6'7", 6'8" guards trying to guard a quick titch. We went through it for some years with Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker used to kill us behind that pick and roll, behind the screen, you know, because Ben's trying to chase down a midget, a fast midget at that. You know, we need to start matching up a little bit better, and we got to find somebody who can at least keep up with my guy, so he doesn't open up the offense for everybody else. Because that's what happens. He starts to kill an interior with the floaters. We start paying more attention to him. He passing out the herder and different wide open shooters that they have. So, you know, I would like individual defense. I want some individual defense.
My one thing, locking on, cut the head off the snake with just Trae Young and watch the body fall. And with that being said, I want to shout out BG. This was a fun episode. Appreciate you for joining us, BJ. Appreciate you for joining from the bottom of our hearts. That's not going to be the last time, BJ. Whenever that
was my next line. I said, long as this ain't the last time.
It's not, baby.
BG. With long as you want to tap in with us at any time, you got me on the inbox. You got Carl. You reach out to anybody, and we'll do the damn thing anytime you want to do it. I want to shout out a new subscriber, to a new commenter, a new person that's on the line with us, Andrew Bodine. W. Bodine. Shout out, my brother. Shout out for even tuning in and tapping in with us, my brother. Jose, as usual. Love you, bro. Thanks for tapping in with us and stuff like that. Nikki. Man, we don't even got to say it. Nikki D, our brother, that stepped up to the plate. Truly, man, one of the best people to ever know. Paul Robert James, Paz, a loyal subscriber, another commenter. Shout out to you too, brother. Timmy Snyder. Timmy Snyder, I ain't giving you no praise. We love you, bro. We love you.
Timmy get praised every episode.
Yeah, we love you, Timmy. We're not doing that. And Zell, my dude, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you on that YouTube platform. Comment, my brother. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, give this video a like, subscribe, keep commenting. We want to see
share
more
it too, Zelly. Share that thing.
We want to see more. We want to see more of you, my brother. And Noel Torres, shout out to you, man, as usual. And G and Greg, my dog, and shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you for even tapping in with us. And Miss Dahlia, hey, we don't want this man blushing. So shout out to you. Shout out to you for joining in with us today. You always loyal. So shout out to you. So
shout out to Andrew Bodine. I'm sorry, on the bottom there, Sabri. Shout out to Andrew.
That was the first person he said. That was the first.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Andrew Bodine was the first person we said. With that being said, simple message: relax. Like Aaron Rodgers said, relax. Game 2 is Tuesday. We're going to make the adjustments.
Even easier, something that everybody can relate to. Just trust the process. It's okay.
It's okay.
We're fine. We're fine.
No team the 0-1 Lakers didn't go undefeated. They lost their one game. So not saying we the 0-1 Lakers, but everybody loses in the playoffs. Game 2 is Tuesday. So go have a Coke and a smile, and we're gonna be all right for game 2. With that being said, Thank you for joining in. This has been another hard-hitting edition of East Sleep Sixes. We out, y'all. Game 2 Tuesday. Tie the series up.
Let's go.